Fresh 102.7.
Hey, it's Karen Carson from Carson and Kane on Fresh 102.7. We're here with Gwen Stefani.
Hi.
We're so happy to talk to you again.
I'm so happy to be talking about myself again. Here we go.
You've been so amazingly busy. The last 2 weeks you've been a mentor on The Voice. How is that different from, being a coach? Do you miss the competition with the guys?
It was way different, I have to say. I kind of took it in my stride, okay, of course I'll do it. You know what I mean? Duh, I'll pay you to do it. I love being on that show.
Time.
Yeah, it's just so much fun. And but going back was kind of hard. It was hard it didn't matter if I was on Blake's team or on Adam's or Pharrell's, coming onto someone else's team that's already established and then trying to kind of it's not your team, so it's a different thing to be a mentor.
Yeah, the pressure's on.
Yeah, so you don't know how much you want to say, and then on top of it, there was a lot of country artists and guy artists. So then I was kind of okay, how do I okay, what kind of belt buckle are you gonna wear? No, you know what I mean? It was there was layers of and then plus it was not my season, so I didn't know it was gonna be that kind of hard, but it was really fun, and I had a great time doing it.
Do you have a bigger appreciation now for country music? I mean, being on Blake's team maybe, and seeing these artists?
Of course. I think that being on the show generally just opens you up to so much, so much. Opens your whole mind up to music. You know what I mean? Seeing things.
Genres.
Yeah, not just genres, but also just interpretation of music and different kinds of voices and appreciation for different kinds of voices and appreciation for different kinds of performances. I think that when you discover music when you're in high school, you get quite territorial and quite stuck up about what you like and what's cool.
I can't
and
see that with you.
Yeah, no, but you do. We all do, right?
Yeah,
when you're
a
teenager, that's I am into ska. I don't listen to pop radio. You know what I mean? That's how I was back then. Then I just realized that no, all that music was the soundtrack to your life, and you loved that 80s music. And then and also growing up, I grew up with bluegrass, and my parents were really into folk music, and so the first concert I ever went to was an Emmylou Harris concert. So it's all in there, and I feel music for me is just it's storytelling and a vessel for emotion. So.
And there is so much emotion on this album. So many people are resonating. This is what the truth feels like. #1 this week. Congratulations! You must be so excited.
So crazy. I can't. It won't penetrate me. How do I I know I only have a few more days left to be #1. I'm wondering
don't
how
say that. Don't put an end date on it.
No, I'm just saying let's 1 week is good. I'm good. I can't. That's beyond icing on the cake. I'm deep layers of icing. I'm it's crazy. I'm so happy.
The video's a lot of fun.
Am I being dumb right now? Because
no, you're being so full of light and love, and it's so good to see you like this. You've made so many fans. Well, first of all, fans from No Doubt, and then your solo album and your clothing. My twin girls have been dressed in your clothing line. Yes.
Wow. How old are they?
They're 10 now.
Oh God, that's crazy. I can't even imagine that.
Is Kingston?
He's going to be 10. Yeah. We were just talking about that. We're how is it possible?
Because it feels like you just had him. I remember oh my gosh. And this, I'm going to switch the subject for a second. I was thinking about this. My daughter just texted me the other day and she's like, Mom, you can't use LOL when you text, laugh out loud, because that makes you look so old. I'm like, you're 10. What am I supposed to, how am I going to laugh? Do you
did your son ever say to you, when are you going to write a hit? Because that happened to me. Does that happen to you guys?
Really? He's like, come on, Mom.
Come on, let's go. It's just, that's what's so amazing about kids generally, and not just my own, but just how music is so powerful and how, it's and now, everybody is so connected, through music, and it's just such an amazing thing. I don't know why I'm going off on that, but I just thought about that, how they do recognize songs that are hit songs. Kids do. You know what I mean?
They're almost like a little meter.
It's
do you
weird.
Play for the kids?
I do. I mean, for the most part, my kids literally just, and I think everyone's kids are like this. They don't want you to do anything but be their mom. They don't want you to, they don't care about what I do, or, you know what I mean? So I think that they got excited. They get excited about a chart. They would check iTunes. They're oh, you're #1 right now. Oh my God, you're #3 now. Disappointed, or whatever.
Oh my God, they're so into numbers.
They're so into numbers.
You'll always know where you are, whether you want to or not. not.
It is exciting for everybody around me, I think, right now, because
that's awesome.
it's been a crazy journey, and like to come out and have this moment to just be like, wow, okay, like a year ago, that's where I was, and now I'm not. So it's
You're
incredible.
doing it beautifully,
Thank you.
by the way.
Thank you
and you're
so
just
much.
infectious. You seem so happy. You make people happy when they see you like that.
That makes me so happy.
I know. And it's great. I was thinking about this on the way over here. I'm like, how does she do this? She's a mom of 3. You have your music, which is incredible. You have the TV show, you have The Voice, and you have this beautiful new romance, and you have your fashion line, and you have your makeup line. I mean, what, how, where, how?
It is like,
tell us,
I'm
moms.
like, I don't want to look over at Tina, my manager, like, how do we do that? Like, but it's just a lot of crazy. I mean, I spend so much of my time just scheduling, when do I have the kids? When do I have the kids? Like, how am I going to, you know what I mean? And I can't, like, this is what's so crazy. I was making this record, and, you know, that was the start of, like, having my kids half the time, which was just unthinkable, you know?
Yeah,
one of the unthinkable. But the time, that was when I made the record, right? So it's kind of like maybe in the plan, right? So I, like, just took advantage of that. And there was one day that I had almost finished the album, and I went in with Gwen Stefani, who was somebody I wanted to work with and I've known forever. And we had this, he did Adele's, you might have heard of this song called Hello. Yeah.
That one.
He's literally a radio hog. But he's a friend of mine, and I went in with him, and I think we had 4 hours. I had to get there, and then I had to go to a basketball game, which I was not going to miss because that was my day, and I was going to be, you know. So I got there, and I was like, ended up writing 2 of my favorite songs in one day, that in 4 hours. And it's just crazy, like how if you put your mind to it, and if you want something and you have that outlet, like I feel like so blessed that I had this outlet to write, because a lot of people go through horrible things in their life, and we all do. Everybody has to do it. That's what this life is, right? But I had the outlet. I had this gift that God gave me to write songs, and I just kind of woke up about that. And I think that it's just been such a blessing for me, because I've healed through this record. I've really woken up. I've really healed, and to be able to share it now, like in real time, and feel that love back, and like receive it, it's crazy. And if we're in a time where you can instantly, like I can text myself doing, you know, I text them or tweet them or whatever, and it's like I don't know them, but I'm getting to know them, you know what I mean? I feel them. So it's been an incredible relationship with these people I don't know for years and years and years, and now like they've been so supportive. And I hope that this record, brings some kind of joy or happiness, or defines a time period for somebody, or you know what I mean? Or
oh, absolutely. When you read the tweets and everything, and because it's so emotional, because it came from so many different places, people are like, I needed this. I never knew this, but I needed exactly what you wrote, and that's got to feel so great.
It feels incredible, because I have to say, like, once you taste the blood, you know what I mean? Like once you have that, you have a hit, or you touch people with music, which I got to do for a lot of years now. Like you never want to go back. Like it's such an addictive, amazing feeling to do that, you know. And I never thought that I would be able to do it again now.
You didn't think that would happen with this album?
No, I didn't. Well, I didn't.
You weren't really
I wasn't going for that, because you know, odds were stacked against me. You know what I mean? Let's talk about like what other girls are being played on the radio right now. You know what I'm saying? Let's just talk about it. Like it's just,
but
it is, but I'm saying it is what it is. You know what I mean? And I know that, and I feel really super like beyond, it's beyond mind blowing to me. And you know, I think that I've always been so grateful in the moment of the different like successes, or whatever you want to call it. Because for me, the success is really just the journey. You know what I mean? That I'm still on a journey, that people are still listening. That is just like, it's incredible. I appreciate it.
I know you do. You're such in a great place. It's so much fun to see. What do you do when you're downtime? I mean, you have so much going on. Like, what's your favorite thing to do? You like sitting around in sweats and eating ice cream? Like, what's your thing?
I mean, when it's like family time, we go big. You know, in my family.
I know you're close, right?
Yeah, I'm. You know, my brother's like probably right out the door, and my brother has married his high school sweetheart, and so she's one of my best friends, and they have 2. We had babies, Apollo and my little nephew Leo, they're the same age.
I love that.
And
It makes it so
Stella
easy.
is best friends with Zuma, and then my parents. So we like really do a lot. Like whenever I have any time, like even if it's just like, oh my gosh, can you come to dinner tonight? Like we have an hour like before bedtime.
Yeah.
Like we all get together, and so that's really it. You know, just whatever that is. It could be like, you know, they got a new drone for Easter. Let's like try to figure that out, or whatever, you know. But I think my favorite real like self downtime would be writing music. I mean, if I had more time, like I was devastated when the record was done. Like I was like, how am I
You
going to
can
not?
still write more.
I did start to repeat myself. It was like,
That's
how many
okay.
times can you say, whoa, that guy's rad? Like, you know what I mean? It's like you just keep saying it. Like, but I was like, okay, I'm repeating myself. But I definitely feel like I'm in a place where if someone said, hey, you want to do a session, like I could write a song and I would love to do that. You know, that's like my favorite thing.
Is there any artists right now that you think, oh, it would be so fun to work with them and put our voices
You know,
together?
there was somebody that I was desperate to work with, Fetty Wap.
Yeah.
And I wanted to work with him so badly, and I because I just think his voice is just so unique and just incredible. And I had asked, you know, I said, can you please get me in the session with them? And I didn't know if it was going to happen. And they were like, yeah, we'll try. And then they got the session. And so I'm like bragging to my kids. I'm bragging to everyone. The session, the nanny, I'm going there today. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you watch this girl work with Betty, you know? And then I got to the session with Stargate. Like, by the way, going to name drop them as well. And I like get there and they're like, he's in Atlanta. He's a no-show. I was like, he's in Atlanta? They're like, maybe tomorrow he might get here. I was like, and then it was maybe tomorrow he might get there. But we wrote a song for him during that session, which is anytime you write a song is a miracle. Okay. And it wasn't until the last second, like we literally stalked him to try to get him on the record. Like I was like, someone just let me get on the phone. Like I'll just beg him. Like, come on, please. Like I didn't want to let my kids down at that point, right? So it ended up that it was crazy because it was the last day I had to turn my record in. Like I literally had to turn my record in, and that beautiful woman right there made like 100 phone calls, and we got like so close. We got to his assistant. Like we were little, like I was like, call Jimmy Iovine, call Irving Azoff. Like I was using all my contacts. I was like, call Dr. Dre. Like, come on, we gotta go. And she got off the phone and she goes, Gwen, it's not gonna happen. And I was about ready to go on stage for a show in Canada, and I get a text from my A&R guy. He's like, he's doing it right now. And I came off stage and I had it on my phone, and I was like,
oh my gosh.
What is happening? Like, that is a miracle story, right? I mean, it was like the last hour.
It was meant to happen that way.
Yeah, I know. And it's like one of my favorite tracks on the record. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
It's so amazing.
Thank you.
And the video created right there on stage, you look like you were just in your element. You can't even see. Were you worried? Were you nervous? I mean, you're doing some moves.
I think I prayed for like a week straight, like solid, like in the moment. There was nothing else to do, because if I didn't, I would freaked out, because I get nervous. Like, of course, anything live is like live. I mean, anything can happen, and everything did happen. Like everything went wrong that could go wrong. Like, because the way it happened was, we started in a room that had nothing, you know, to rehearse it. And then as the set was being built, like they had to build the entire set in a soundstage.
Yeah.
We were doing like, okay, we can do the beauty shop scene right here, but we don't have all of this. So we're going to pretend like it's here. Like there was
it's never
like
a Broadway show.
It was literally happening as we were rehearsing.
It was amazing.
And I feel like 2 takes before the real take, like I had gone around the circle with the skates on, and they changed my skates at the piano. Like, I mean, this is all really happening right in real time. And I literally ate it. Like I fell back on my head. You know when you hit your head so hard that it rings like inside?
You're stunned,
yeah.
And you can't even think.
And I was like, wow, okay, that just happened. I had a lot of bruises. It was really incredible, though, to have that many people working on a project, like hundreds of people, that every single person there, like it counted what they did. Like anything could happen. Like the camera could get stuck, or like anything.
Does it inspire you to ever maybe do live Broadway, to try it out or anything like that?
You know what it did? It gave me a lot of confidence, because I always said, oh, I don't do choreography, or I don't do this, I don't do that. Like, why define yourself? Like I'm learning, and that one of the big lessons that I've learned in this year is just that you can't always say I don't do this or I'm not this, because you don't know what's going to happen next. Like, nobody knows. That's one of the blessings of being a human. We don't know the future. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's around the corner, but we just trust in the moment. So that's why I've been really trying to like exercise that like moment. Like, this is happening right now. I don't know what's going to happen, so I'm not going to worry about that. Or
Well,
I'm not
your
going to.
moment is looking beautiful, Gwen Stefani. Congratulations, and thanks for talking with us.
Thank you so much for having me, you guys.